So welcome to Queen's Club for the second round of the British Open. Your previous commentators from the last match, Giles Doy and John Woods-Katie, are off getting some valuable
Ladies
food.
and gentlemen, welcome to the Queen's Tennis Club for the second round of the British Open singles. Introducing the players at the service end, we have unseeded from Tasmania, Hobart, Ollie Pridmore.
Introducing the players, Marker Drew Lyons introducing Ollie Pridmore. We'll get to the player profiles shortly.
At the receiving end, we have professional from Philadelphia, number 2 seed, please welcome John Lumley.
One of the favourites to make the finals, you think, in this tournament, John Lumley,
This match
making his first appearance at Queen's Club this year.
Players are ready, first game level. Clean up.
And Ollie gets off to a great start in his first match ever against one of the top two in the world.
Last gallery, 15 low.
And John opening his account with a dead on. Again, we'll get to the full player introduction shortly. But needless to say, this is a game looking at the future in many different ways. So let's have a look at Oliver Pridmore, 18-year-old from Hobart Real Tennis Club down in Tasmania. He's on a gap year at the moment. Spent the year in the UK playing various different tournaments, visiting various different clubs. He's playing off a handicap of 4.9, which, given that he arrived in the UK at a handicap of about 16 or 17, is actually quite an incredible drop in 1 year.
And the game. First game. First game, server. Pino.
Oh, it's hit bottom of the grill. And Pridmore finds a way to get it over. Oh my god. What a point. Pridmore did fantastically well to stay in that. He almost lost it in the last gallery, almost unreturnable from the bounce of that, and he manages to end the rally with a last gallery chase. So continuing our look at young Ollie Pridmore. Career highlights, as you can see, all of them in recent years. Is making his debuts at all the Opens. This is his first British Open. Played his first Open of any kind back in January at the Australian, where he lost in first round match to Nick Howe. Then played the French Open last month. Beat Nicolas Victoire in the first round, and then lost to Nick Howe again in the second round. So this is all a fantastic learning experience for him as he looks to improve his game. No one's really expecting him to be winning Opens at this point, but it's fantastic to see his progress.
40-15 receiver, last gallery. 30-40.
The goal here definitely for Ollie today is to get as many games as he possibly can. I think if you asked him, he'll say he does not want to be bageled.
Advantage receiver.
His form guide, he played against Claire Fay in the first round of this British Open, winning in straight sets, which is a testament to his progress. He's really starting to cement himself
Advantage, half a yard worse than 6.
as a 4 or 5 handicap, and that win against Claire just shows that getting there is not a fluke. He has earned it, and he is just that good.
And the game, 2 games to love. 2 love first set. Gallery.
It's a very neat volley there by Pridmore off the timber, finding the second gallery. A bit out of position too, so not the worst shot in the world. So let's look at John Lumley now. 31 years old. In terms of the top 6 or 7 players, is definitely one of the younger of those players. Playing out of Philadelphia. He is much loved, and I'm sure over the course of the tournament we'll have plenty of Philadelphia fans tuning into this live stream. If you are out there from Philadelphia, give us a shout out.
Second gallery. On the chase. 15 love.
Shows the class of John Lumley there. Being able to boast that into the dead on from where he was on the court is just incredible. Half a yard chase.
15 all. 40-15.
Well, here's a chance for Pridmore here. He's 40-15 up. Again, although he'd like to, take a win. I think his goals definitely here are don't get bageled.
Game to the server.
Well, Pridmore is on the board.
1 game to 2.
You hear the squeak under the feet of John Lumley. There's a bit of moisture on the court at the moment. It is raining very heavily outside here at the Queen's Club.
7-2, 15 up.
So continuing our look at John Lumley. Of course, he made the World Championship final earlier this year at the Washington court. What a match that was against Cameron Riviere, taking it deep into the third day. I was champion here 2 years ago. Won the Australian Open last year as well.
15 love
What more will he accomplish in this gloried career?
Love. Second gallery. Love.
Well, that's just Nick Bando. And our final stats here on John Lumley. His form guide. That World Championship final at the top of the list there. Champions Trophy victory recently. US Pro final.
40 love receive lead.
What is he going to do this year at the British Open?
More than a yard worse than last gallery. Takes up. 40 love receiver. $15.40. Oh. Bit
of a crowd in now, which is good to see. You're always going to get a crowd middle of the day, as opposed to last night when it was just the marker, the players, and the streaming in here. Oh, and Pridmore finds the winning gallery.
It's so random.
Jeez.
Kind of out of nowhere, really. Speaking of last night, I ran into head pro here, Ben Ronaldson, in the corridors just now, who stressed to me that he had put everything possible in place to ensure that the lights would not go out and there was meant to be systems in place that keep the lights on, but unfortunately that's not what eventuated.
Second gallery advantage.
Especially given that the lights went off at 10:30. Head to head, of course, these two have never played before, which is not surprising given this is Ollie's third Open. And he'll slowly go through playing the top players for the first time as he begins his career.
Second gallery service advantage.
Again, it's a fantastic experience for him to be playing here at the British.
And the game, 3 games to 1. 3-1 first set. Up.
Yep. I think one of the things with the way that Ollie's playing at the moment, he has absolutely nothing to lose in this match. It is all learning experience for him. It's great to see him up there and competing with the top players. It's fantastic to see a new generation coming through in the world of real tennis. In a way, it sometimes feels a bit like we've been seeing the same names at the top of the game for so long. For nigh on a decade. There's so much young talent coming through at this British Open. Drew Lyons is our marker today. This is his first match of the draw. We'll see plenty more of him as the week progresses. Used to be head professional here at the Queen's Club, and now is plying his trade down at Seacourt. And great to see him in his place at the market box.
15-all, case 3. On the chase. 30-15, receiver, second gallery.
I'm going to hand you over now to our commentators for this match. Our RTC's Giles Doy and RMTC's John Woods Casey.
Great, thank you, Ben. Thank you for holding the microphone while we all freshen ourselves up a little bit after a fantastic match this morning with Leon Smart and Rob Shankman. I know you've already explained Rob going through that in 4 sets. We're starting to see some of the early exchanges here in the first set, and I think my immediate reflection is just how much Ollie Pridmore is bringing the game to the world number 2. John, you've been watching last kind of couple of games or so. What's your initial reactions?
I think what we've seen in the first few games is what we're going to continue to see throughout the match. Really, it's John obviously needs very little. Lumley obviously needs very little introduction. He's world number 2 and was as Ben mentioned, was the challenger in the World Championship recently. Played exceptionally well, got more sets off Camden than anybody other than Rob Fay has in the last 12 or 13 years. So he's pretty good at this game. And Ollie is a young kid from Hobart on his way up. But Ollie,
receiver,
as we see there, might be a relatively small kid. He's not huge, he's not particularly tall, he's not particularly broadly built, but he's very, very fast.
Okay. 2 games to 3.
Lightning fast around the court, and he's also lightning fast with his racket, so can generate quite a lot of power for someone with a small frame when the ball's there to hit. I don't anticipate him getting any sets today, or probably even getting more than 3 games in a set against John. That'd probably be a surprise, but at the same time, John will have to play his way through this one, because Ollie will do his best to just run everything down, get all the balls back over the net, and force John to hit winners.
Yeah, and this is a fantastic opportunity for Ollie to just get some big game match experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, no one. Yeah, I don't think anyone's really expecting Ollie to create any upsets here. And so really he can be very open, very attacking, just kind of soak up the experience of sort of first major tournament. Actually, sorry, corrections. The second major tournament, he was made the quarterfinals at the French Open earlier this year as well.
Yes, that's true.
Manages to beat Nicolas Victoire in the round of 16. Much to the disappointment of the
French fans.
The local French fans. But again, I think Ollie's progression through this tournament and to where he is now. Again, I think it's going to be one of the bright new stars of real tennis, and I think we've seen a lot of those folks
Nice shot.
coming forward in this tournament, which is really exciting to see. And especially if he can play shots like that straight to the face of the Tampa, he's going to make himself very difficult to beat.
That's a nice shot there from John. Yeah, I think it's important to note that in events like this, you might see quite a lot of 3-love results in matches like this, where a seed like John plays somebody who's won through the first round to earn their place in this match. On paper, the result probably looks like it's not much of a challenge, or maybe not really worth the time or whatever. But it's such an important practice and proving ground for particularly young and new and up and coming players to get the opportunity to play players like John, to play the top players in the world and just get the experience, as you said, of what it's like playing at this level. Because there is a huge difference between where Ollie is now at that sort of 4-5 low single figure handicap mark, playing other players of that level, versus playing players of John's standard. And you don't get to improve until you get the opportunity to play players of that level. So although we might not see the a big result or a really tight match today. It is very important practice and experience for a player like Ollie just to have this opportunity. But it'll also be a good opportunity for the rest of us watching to watch and compare and contrast what the difference between a 4 handicap and a plus 10 or whatever John is these days. Shot. Good finish with the two-handed backhand there from John. That's a good length on the serve. Again, the railroad is not an easy serve to serve here at Queen's. It's the back wall here doesn't take much of this railroad spin, so it's hard to get it to bite back into the side wall. So when you see John serving the railroad, you'll see it mostly sort of medium pace probably, and aimed to try and hit as close to the nick low on the back wall as possible. Almost like a bobble, but a different shape. Because even against a player like Ollie, when you serve it loose like that, a little bit too long, a little bit too wide, gets dispatched. Did well to get out of the way of that one. That's a nice shot from Ollie.
John seemingly also getting his range in quite nice and early with the high serve there. He's found a very nice height, just making sure it's not quite up against the roof.
Yeah.
But Oliver's returning it with a good amount of interest. So
yeah, John is pretty familiar with this court. He's obviously played a lot of British Opens over the last decade or so, but also was here in the UK for a little while, most of last year, and practiced here a couple of times a week. So he'll be pretty familiar, particularly with this court. So he should find it relatively comfortable to find his range, find his targets again. But having said that, it's always different every year.
That's a superb pick-up. Cross-court into winning gallery.
Interesting stat there. Just saw pop up. 34 points served each. So Ollie's doing a good job so far of not getting bogged down, not getting stuck at the receiver's end too long.
Oh, that's a really mature shot there from Ollie. Just waiting for the ball to come out into the court. Picked his spot into the grill and fired it straight down there.
See a replay of that winning gallery.
40-30 receiver lead.
Again, that's
Second gallery.
what Ollie brings to the table, is his speed and movement ability. That's a nice shot from John. Good line.
There've been a few points there where Ollie hasn't quite been able to read the direction of the ball.
No, hasn't hit the gallery.
He's hit the post.
How's the second gallery?
Ollie possibly showing a few nerves there. He'll know very well that that hit the post, but didn't register at the time. So eager to just try and get onto the ball and hit the next shot.
Service advantage has the second gallery.
John being a little bit loose with the galleries there, and gave Ollie a real chance to just kill the ball into a corner, but unfortunately for Ollie, he's put it straight back onto John's forehand.
Yeah, good pressure there from Ollie though. That's what forced John's error. He threatened to come up to the galleries and cover them, and John had to respect that and pulled it a bit high, but then lacking a little bit of composure.
Receiver. 6 games to 2.
And just like that, it's 6 games to 2.
Second set, double.
To world number 2.
And that right there is a good demonstration of the challenge that Ollie faces here, and the difference between the two levels. When John gets a loose ball, gets an opportunity, rarely misses. Especially especially on a big point. Give him a game point or a set point, and if you serve too loose, then you can be pretty confident that that ball's going to be put away. That's a good finish. Good finish there.
John a little bit confused by that one. He didn't look like it was coming straight back towards him, and kind of almost took no action, watching it going straight back into the grill.
Again, you can see the difference between the two railroads. John's serving his slightly slower version, rolling it into the neck, not worrying so much about the width, not trying to get it too tight, just understanding that all he's got to do is keep it short and slow and low on the back wall to make it difficult to return. Ollie's looks like he's just trying to overpower it a little bit and leaving it a little bit too loose.
Chase 6.
Oh, there's a loose one in return from John then.
Yeah, great attack from Ollie on that one, picking up a couple of loose balls from John.
speed.
Just a bit too quick on that,
First game, second set
on that
to the
forehand.
server.
Yeah, Ollie probably hasn't played anyone who moves as well as he does before. There aren't too many players in the world who move as well as he does, even at his even at his level. But he'll probably find that he's met his match. I mean, John's arguably, well, he's definitely one of the best, if not arguably the best mover in the game at the moment. Extremely fit and very quick. Nickname, of course, is the Hare.
30-15.
Yeah, I know John's fitness regime in advance of the World Championships a couple of months ago really kind of stepped up a few gears. If you're going to be taking on Camden Riviera over 13 sets, you need to have the fitness to be able to see it all through.
Yeah. Don't know if you can see it on the stream, but I've just spotted that there's a hair out of place on John's head.
That's going to need a bit of time. I'm noticing the Alice band
on
is
screen now.
notice the Alice band is a bit absent at the moment as we see some of the set one stats. And I think this is something that you picked up a bit earlier, John. The points served is pretty much 50-50 really. The only real difference here between the two players is number of points won, 32 to 24. But this is not a match where John has been able to keep Ollie down the receiving end and just command the play.
Worse than 2.
It's a good leave by Ollie there. Chase was better than 2, fell worse than 2 in the end.
Game to the receiver. 2 games to love, second set. Chase, 1 and 2.
So what we might be just starting to see at the moment, and we'll probably see more as the game goes on, is just the consistency and the pressure that John's able to apply just by making so few errors and running every ball down on top of hitting winners when the ball's there to be hit.
15 up.
That pressure just starts to take its toll after a while. You might see Ollie try and start to get a bit frustrated or try and lash out and hit winners and take aggressive shots when maybe the ball's not there to be hit. That's just purely a consequence of the pressure from the other end.
We've got some of the serving stats for both players on the first set. It's a bit surprising to see the accuracy of Ollie's railroad kind of around about 70%. Yeah, that's definitely a stat that kind of stands out to me at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line with the railroad hose. You noticed a little bit in the last game as well, with Leon's railroad serving percentage. It's
chase, 15-30.
Your railroad doesn't necessarily have to be 100% serve or even a 90% serve to be effective. It's depends what. That's a good finish there for John.
15.
Depends what sort of railroad you're serving and what your goal is. So we see Ollie taking on a slightly faster, more aggressive railroad, which that's a very good shot from Ollie, which is prone to a few more misses. You know, he's aiming for a very narrow margin, so there are going to be a few faults, but he's backing two things. One, that when it does go in, that's his best chance of winning points. But also that his second serve is not necessarily a winning serve, but good enough to not lose too many points.
We've got the same stats for John in that first set.
Yeah, so you can see that railroad percentage much higher on the higher on the accuracy. But again, slightly different serve, slower serve. He's going for a bit more margin, a little bit wider up the penthouse. So it's different type of serve, different type of railroad. Not up. Again, good example for the viewers that not all serves are the same. There are different ways to serve different serves, depending on the outcome that you're trying to achieve. Yeah, there are literally hundreds of different serves in this game, but most of them are just variations on a theme. So it really depends on what you're trying. Yeah, what your goal is, what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to force your opponent to do.
Just getting some replays of, I think it was the chase that was being played off.
Yeah.
Second gallery a little bit earlier.
Not up from John. Conceded. Impressive camera work from Ben there. Something I'm always curious in as a player, but not necessarily as a marker. It's a double-edged sword that way.
We should certainly. I know we have talked a lot about Ben Gatenbeek as the master of all of the streaming and the scoring for this tournament. We also should give, at the very least, an honourable mention to Sam, who is with us in the commentary booth and is in charge of all of the action replays, all of the slow motion. All the slow motion pictures that you're seeing as well, very carefully looking over all of the different frames, picking the right camera angle that we get to see at the change of ends. It's a very impressive job and a lot of concentration that Sam's putting in for this.
Game.
Again, another good example there of the difference between the two levels. John just clinical at the end of that game when he had opportunities. Ollie made his way to advantage. Obviously that's got himself a game point opportunity to win, but John was able to find a good serve to then allow him to hit the grill to get back to deuce. Slightly loose ball from Ollie, and then another opportunity to win the point.
Committed very early to the timbre wall for his next shot there.
It's a lovely line, very difficult ball. Probably one other thing to consider here as we go through this match is John obviously be planning on winning this match and planning on winning it relatively comfortably. He's looking further down the tournament where his challenges lie, but this is still a very good opportunity for him to work into this tournament. Ollie's no slouch, so it's a good opportunity for John to get some good match practice in, particularly the first couple of sets, and then we'll probably see him start to work in a few different serves, just play around a little bit with what he might want to do later on in the tournament in a match scenario. Start to get a feel for different aspects of the court and the game. Opportunity. That's an impressive shot.
Yeah, winner of this match obviously progresses into the quarter-final. They'll come up against Mathieu Sarlong, the French number 8 seed, on the quarter-final state, which will be this coming Thursday.
Just one more point to note on that comment before about what John might be getting from this game. You might notice that from time to time he'll shake his head or look a little frustrated at times. It's not necessarily with the game or how the game is going or the score or the marker or his opponent or anything. But again, he'll have things that he's looking to work on and practice and fine-tune for later in the tournament, so that'll be more about his game, and maybe that shot that he hit didn't quite go where he wanted to go or didn't end up how he wanted it to.
Half a yard, 15 up.
Another good example of why these matches are so important, not just for the weaker player to get experience, but also for the better players, assuming that they win them, to work their way through and get match practice on the court, in the game, with the balls that they're going to be playing with for the rest of the week, all that sort of thing.
Server leads 15 love. Hazard chase, half a yard.
We might already be starting to see John starting to motor his way through the gears a little bit here, wanting to move things along.
Hazard chase the door.
That's 13 points in a row that have gone John Lumley's way, as he's looking to close out this second set at the earliest opportunity.
Yeah. So having said all of that about what he'll be trying to work on, etc., he'll also be trying to get off the court as quickly as possible. There's no need to spend 4 hours on court in the first round match if you don't need to.
Game Game in the second set. 6 games to love.
There you are. First
There we go.
opportunity John's had to take the second set. He does so.
2 sets to love.
Score is 6-2, 6-love to the man from Philadelphia.
Down in the second gallery.
A few loose shots from John in that rest, which Ollie was really able to put a bit of pressure onto
Nice shot.
onto John's forehand there. It's a nice response from Ollie with a main wall dead on.
That was an interesting bounce.
30-15.
Seemed to shoot up right in the middle of the court.
Ooh. That's a nice shot from Ollie. I like that. Nice and patient. That's better.
Stats on screen now.
So here's how things look for the second set. And I think it's that stat in the middle there, points 1, 27-9. Yeah, long periods where John has been able to apply the pressure, get the points that he wants, gets the errors through.
Yeah.
But the points served, actually, you know, that's looking a lot closer.
Relatively even, but there's a big discrepancy there between the percentage of points won on serve.
40-15.
So
Last gallery.
John's served 25 points in that last set and won 75% of them. Where Ollie's served 20 and only won 25% of them. Slightly, probably a combination of slightly looser serving from Ollie and also John feeling a little more comfortable with the serve, a little bit more comfortable with the court, feeling like he can open up and extend a little bit more. Just watch John in that last point. And apart from the return of serve and the ball that went up on the back penthouse, he was able to stand in about a 2-foot square right in the middle of the court. Excellent judgment of where the ball's going, but also just control of the rally, able to force Ollie to play balls from awkward positions where every ball he hit just found its way back to the middle of the court. So one of the big differences between the players at this standard, John will be able to control the points because his shot making is better. You know, he's able to control his shots from a similar position better, but also he's better understanding of when the ball's in different areas of the court, when Ollie's in different positions, what is likely to happen. So if you watch John move around the court, you'll see very little in the way of panicked or rushed movement. Very calm, smooth movement around the court, which is all based on anticipation of what the most likely outcome is from where the ball is in that particular scenario. Whereas Ollie, feeling a little bit more under pressure, a little bit more stressed, his mind probably isn't working quite as well at anticipating. So his movement will be a little bit more stressed, a little bit more rushed.
Bit of a clay court slide down from Ollie to
one of his specialties. I don't really understand how he does it without breaking his ankle, but it seems to work for him. So
2 games to love.
maybe he's playing to the reality that there's a bit more moisture and humidity coming into the court now. So we are seeing the players needing to get the towel out a few times, particularly down the receiving end.
It's a nice shot from there.
Yeah, last 2 shots hopefully start to give Oliver a little bit more confidence to get back into this game. John has really taken control the last 4 or 5 games, and all of a sudden that's 3 points in a row. Mainwall dead on, an error from John.
Ollie's done well this game. He's calmed himself a little bit, hit one very good straight force, which forced a racket error from John, and then a couple of loose serves from John.
15-40.
Ollie was able to just settle and hit good shots from them.
Yeah,
made the error that one, but
that return of serve really, Ollie clearly not pleased about that at all. Giving John a bit of a gimme in that previous point.
Yeah, again, it's a balance though. You have to be aggressive to a certain level, because if you don't take your opportunities, John's just going to run everything down and keep the ball in play, and eventually Ollie will make an error. So he's got to try and take his opportunities when he can, but that will mean some misses, some couple hitting the back wall like we saw then, or maybe on the penthouse.
Game receiver. 1 game to 2.
Ollie's managed to work his way back, get his first game since that first set. But once more we can see the difference between the levels of the 2 players. It's taken Ollie nearly. That last game that Ollie won, he had to hit a straight force on the volley, which he probably didn't want to, and then an exceptional cut volley and 2 big main wall forces just to win a game.
Very tight against the wall there from Ollie. Not really an awful lot John could do about that one.
Good finish there. Not as easy as he made it look. that shot from the middle of the court. Oh, a little bit lucky. Brings up another game point though. Oh,
2 games
Two in a
all.
row.
another slightly lucky return, but we'll take what we can get. Oh,
That's a beautiful, beautiful shot.
very good.
Curling its way in, curling its way away from Ollie as well.
Yeah, you can hear him saying to himself, hit that cross court. He knows where that needed to go. Just biting off a bit more than he could chew there, trying to hit it down the line.
Last gallery, 30 love.
Tried to hit that backhand straight again. It's twice in this game. Paid the price both times. It's difficult decision making here. He's feeling the pressure of the world number 2 and somebody with such good movement capabilities like John. So he's feeling like he has to do something different, something to change what he's been doing, because he feels like he's been playing the right shot, playing cross court, playing under the galleries, playing into the backhand, and he's still not winning. So
Receiver, 3 games to 2.
very easy to feel like you have to do something more. But as we saw there, the more he tries to do something extra, the less likely it is to come off. That's a very good return there. Very good return from John.
Choosing to leave that one, try and dance his way around the ball.
Nice shot from John. Too many options on that sort of.
Server leads 15 love, chase worse than 5.
Some good running there by Ollie to try and fish the ball back.
2.
No such luck though.
Space. Too big.
Lost the chase, 40 love.
It's fine line there. If you tries to beat it on the floor, but John gets it back. It's almost certainly going to be onto his backhand, which then makes it much harder to force. But equally, if you can force John to find another shot
4 games to 2
on a better than 2 chase, then he might just draw an error. So it's a balance, playing those short chases between what you feel like you can hit and what you can achieve from that.
A yard.
That's not what John wanted to have at all. He had a whole court and lots of time to pinpoint down to the grill. Pushed it a bit too much. He'll be conceding the service end very soon.
Nice two-handed backhand from Ollie there. Very well redirected off the timbre.
Receiver, hazard a yard. Hazard a yard.
Perfect example of the second way to win a hazard chase there. Often players will try and win a hazard chase from the receiver's end on the first shot on the return of serve. Try and find a gallery straight away or find a way into the backhand to win the point.
What's the chase? 3, 15-30.
But John, they're showing it's just as effective to hit your first shot cross court, then get a backhand and then take the cross court into the gallery, which is a much easier shot.
It's a shame that serve not actually bouncing on the penthouse a second time. I think it kind of caught John out a little bit. But I think such is John's quality that he was still able to get the ball back and force an error from...
it's a good point. Again, it's just that consistency at the level that John's playing at. It's so hard to force him into an error. Just doesn't make mistakes. In difficult positions, finds a way to get the ball back over the net and into an awkward position. That's a very good shot.
That is absolutely superb. He was moving in one direction. He was almost trying to hit the ball behind him, behind his own back to get it across the court and into winning gallery.
Receiver. And the game, 5 games to 2. 5-2, third set.
Yeah, we see when it comes to the pointy end of the game, John's just a little bit more clinical on the big points, game points or juice points. He's able to find a good angle into a corner, just make Ollie's life hard. Not necessarily trying to hit too much to hit the winner. Obviously that last point was hitting the winner, but not always trying to hit the winner. Just making sure it goes into an awkward area. That's a nice volley.
It's a really nice,
good finish.
Really nice positioning there from Ollie.
gallery, 15 all.
That's good serve.
It's a really nice serve. John looking a little bit lost on that one. I'm sure he will quickly forget how to deal with it.
That's you.
Another good finish off the side penthouse from Ollie. He's hit that backhand volley very well off the side penthouse today. Again, another shot that's easier than it might look. Harder than it might look. Makes it look very easy.
Yes, there's some more skidding. You can see Ollie's trainer picking up a fair bit of moisture, sort of making a bit of a mark on the floor. A couple of points ago.
Last gallery. Got a yard worse than last gallery. Yes. One pop.
See whether John can finish it off here. It's well back from Ollie. Oh, great pickup.
Great attacking and great defending from both players there.
Terrific rally. John will be a little bit disappointed. Had 3 or 4 opportunities to finish that point earlier. But
match point. John possibly taking his eye off the ball a little bit too early there. I think he was expecting that ball to come back into the middle of the court, and Ollie positioned it very nicely into the dead on instead.
Service advantage.
Second match point. That's very nice.
That's the win.
So like we said at the start, good practice and a good warm-up for John. Excellent, invaluable experience for Ollie. He won't have, I don't think he's played anybody of that level before. So it's his first experience playing somebody, probably his first experience playing somebody as quick as he is and able to run down as much as he does. He'll learn a lot from that.
And actually, you know, you can certainly point to some good periods, particularly in the first set and the third set, where he was able to compete with John and was able to, was able to make it kind of a fair and even match. He probably won't want to focus too much on the second set. That was probably a much more one-sided affair for John.
Yeah.
We've got some of the stats coming up here. For the overall match and also for some of the serves. I think those statistics are going to be very clouded by what was a very one-sided second set for John. Ollie not really taking that many points from those games at all. So that, I think, concludes our second match of the day. We've managed to catch up a little bit with the schedule, and so I think we'll be getting ourselves ready for the third match, which will be Nick Howell versus Darren Long. Nick is so keen, he's on course already and getting himself starting to prepare himself. And if you're looking for some incredibly garish shoes, then definitely come back. Nick is sporting some bright pink stuff. John clearly very disapproving.
I wish I had a pair.
We've talked quite a lot about footwear, and I guess we might be doing that a little bit more later on. Great, thank you very much everybody, and we will be back soon with our third match of the day.
Thanks guys.